Okay, so the last bit of EXS24 we're going to cover is looking at multi-sampling. So everything so far has just come from one region or one kind of source. So what I'm going to do now is show you how you can sample different notes of the same instrument to get a better representation of it. So I've just recorded some piano one-shots, just like off from an electric piano. So what we might do is just record one note, in this case is C1. Now I want to turn that into a sampler instrument so I can play it up and down the keyboard. The reason I'm not using the hardware piano itself is I want to be able to MIDI it in so I can quantize it, rather than just relying on coming straight from the audio output of the hardware unit. So what I'm going to do, if I, as always, right click or control click, convert to sampler track, I'm going to go for regions. I'm going to call this ePiano single sample. Now, what that's given me is, as it says, single sample just on my bottom key. Open up my EXS24 and I can change this so it goes all the way up and down the keyboard like we want. Drag it down an octave and up a few octaves to go all the way up to. Let's go full C5. We'll save that one. So we can now play that. All well and good. The downside of this though is when you get into those sort of upper registers, once you get past sort of the octave really, it gets a little bit stretched. The resolution gets a lot worse, the quality goes down. The quality goes down and you just end up with a poor representation of what you were going for. If I want this to sound like an accurate electric piano, I don't want all my chords to be sped up. The other downside is, because it's sped up, the notes will last more or less depending on how high up you're playing them. So if I play a low sample, it's stretching it out and it will last a very long time. If I play a high sample, speeding it up and it cuts off quickly. So if you're playing quite complicated chords, you might have the notes all cut off at different times, which isn't a particularly good effect. So to improve on this, let's do it a different way. So as before, right click, I'm going to click on my first sample and I'm going to convert to sampler track. What I've got here is I've recorded the piano C1, C2, C3 and C4. So I've done one C note from each octave that I'm going to be wanting to cover. You can go even more extreme and you can sample every third note, every fifth note, even every single note for some kind of massive sample libraries. But just to kind of do a bit of a easy comparison, I've just sampled one per octave. And I'll call this one ePiano multisampled. So it's exactly the same at the moment. If I open it up, go to edit. But this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag ePiano 2 from the screen into the sampler 2. Now it's identified that it's at C2, so that's great. If it hadn't done that, I would have to physically change the original pitch, but I know it's C2. Now, I've got to do something with the zones here. So this first key, C1, I'm going to change the key range. I can take it down to, say, G, and I'm going to go up to F sharp. So I'm covering nearly a whole octave there. And then with this second higher key, I'm going to start it on G1. So it starts where the previous one ended. And I'll go up to F sharp 2. You can do this by clicking the key range here or by clicking and dragging the note here. Gonna get E piano 3, do a similar thing. It says C3, that's great. I'm gonna start it from G2 when the last one cut off, and go all the way up to F sharp 3. Should be there. Then my last one, same process, start with the last one finished, and I can go up to maybe again, just up to the higher. Let's do an octave for that one. So now when I play, my low end's covered by this first sample, but when I get to that cut-off point, it cuts to the next sample. And you'll notice this chords in the top end sound a lot more natural now. And the difference in length is nowhere near as noticeable, even with big chords. So that's using all 4 different samples there. You see it change when playing. It's a much more natural sound. It's definitely worth doing if you're trying to get kind of multi-sampled instruments that kind of cover a bigger range and you want to sound natural. If you're going for an unnatural effects, by all means, you can have some fun and do this single sample and get that weird effect. But we'll play the same thing on a multi-sample instrument. It's just so much smoother. Really good way of sampling kind of hardware synthesizers or any instrument that you can't MIDI sync in and you want to get your own samples of. Quite good to do, a single note from a guitar, try that. Single note from a upright piano, or in my case a kind of keyboard, and you can have some fun with that.